Have you ever felt like a total prisoner to your diet? That feeling where you're doing everything right, but the results just aren't showing up? I see a ton of people showing up at my office completely devastated. Folks who've cut out eggs, stopped eating red meat, banned cheese and butter from their lives. And yet, when the blood work comes back, their cholesterol is still sky high, as if they were eating bacon for breakfast every single day. It's frustrating, I get it. But the truth almost no one tells you is that 80% of the cholesterol circulating in your blood doesn't come from what you put on your plate. It comes from what your liver manufactures. That's right, you heard correctly. Your liver is the biggest chemical factory in your body, and it produces cholesterol 24 hours a day because your brain and your hormones need it to survive. If your internal factory is clogged, inflamed, or running on bad signaling, it doesn't matter if you're starving yourself or living on lettuce. The cholesterol will stay high. The problem isn't the passenger, the cholesterol. It's the factory management. Today, I'm going to show you how to reset your liver and get it burning fat again instead of flooding your arteries with it. Hi, I'm Dr. Harrison Blake. I'm a medical specialist, and in my 15 years of clinical practice, I've seen thousands of patients regain their freedom and health once they stopped fighting the numbers and started treating the real root cause. If you want to truly understand your body, you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. I want to clean my liver. It helps this content reach people who are still living in fear food. Imagine your liver as a logistics director of a giant e-commerce company like Amazon. It's not just an organ that filters blood. It's the command center that decides everything that enters and leaves your energy warehouse. The cholesterol you measure in the lab is precious cargo. It's used to make your sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen, to produce the vitamin D that protects your immunity, and to keep your brain running. Because it's so critical, your body doesn't just rely on the luck of you eating cholesterol at lunch. It prefers to make its own. This internal production, which we call endogenous synthesis, happens through a biochemical assembly line run by an enzyme called HMG-CoA reductase. Your liver monitors your blood 24/7. It has thousands of sensors on its surface that work like satellite dishes. These antennas, the LDL receptors, are there to pick up the trash from the streets. When blood cholesterol levels rise, those antennas are supposed to capture LDL particles, bring them back inside the factory, and tell the director, "Boss, there's plenty of stock out on the street. Cut back on internal production." It's a perfect feedback system. But in 15 years of medicine, what I see most often is this communication system breaking down. Picture the factory director, your liver, locked in a dark room with no access to computers showing inventory levels. He keeps ordering the workers to produce cholesterol nonstop, thinking the body is short on supply, while outside the blood is already saturated. The result? Cholesterol rises, oxidizes in the arteries, and increases heart attack risk. The issue here isn't that the liver is bad or genetically defective. It's that the communication line between the blood and the organ got cut. Why does the body prefer to manufacture rather than absorb? Simple: survival. Throughout human evolution, dietary cholesterol was scarce. The liver learned to become a master manufacturer to ensure the brain never ran out of raw material. Today we live in a world of abundance, but your liver's biology still behaves like we're in the African savanna. If your liver doesn't get the signal that that's enough, it keeps producing. Understanding this inventory and demand logistics is the first step to stop fighting your blood test results and start talking to your metabolism. If we want to lower cholesterol, it's not enough to just attack production with drugs that shut down the factory. We need to give the director back access to the sensors so he can intelligently decide to stop production himself. Imagine the command center of your liver, where those antennas that pick up blood cholesterol are located, is now covered in a thick layer of mud and debris. That's exactly what happens when we develop hepatic steatosis, the famous fatty liver. This is the biggest health drama of modern times, and the number one reason cholesterol numbers won't budge no matter what. When your liver starts storing fat inside its own cells, it develops a kind of metabolic blindness. The antennas that should read LDL levels in the blood get buried under this internal fat and stop working. The result? The liver loses track of what's happening outside and keeps manufacturing cholesterol like there's no tomorrow. But where does that fat come from? Here's the key twist. It's not from eating fat. The biggest culprit behind this clogging is excess sugar and refined carbohydrates, especially fructose. Unlike glucose, which your muscle can burn when you walk, fructose has to be processed exclusively by the liver. It's like the liver is the only organ that can clean up that sugar from the system. When you overdo sodas, boxed juices, sweets, and even too much white flour, your liver gets overwhelmed. It can't burn it all, so for survival reasons, it converts that excess energy straight into fat inside itself. This process is called de novo lipogenesis, the liver making fat from sugar. And that fat acts like junk clogging the production line, feeling suffocated and out of space. The liver tries to get rid of the excess by shipping out packages of fat into the blood in the form of VLDL. Here's where it gets serious. VLDL is a precursor to LDL. The more the liver tries to clean house by sending fat out, so it doesn't suffocate, the more cholesterol particles end up circulating in your blood. In other words, your high cholesterol is actually a symptom of a liver desperately trying to do a stock clearance because it was flooded with sugar and starch. On top of that, a fatty liver is an inflamed liver. That constant inflammation makes the blood more irritated and prone to forming clots. In my 15 years of practice, I've learned you can't treat cholesterol while ignoring the patient's ultrasound. If your liver looks bright on the scan, indicating fat, the focus shouldn't be lowering LDL with meds that just mask the problem. The focus has to be unclogging the factory. When we clear out that internal fat, the antennas reappear on the cell surface. The liver regains its vision, and it realizes, wait a minute, we already have enough cholesterol in the blood. Shut down the machines. Treating fatty liver is about restoring sensitivity to the conductor without fixing this physical clog. You're always trying to mop the floor with the faucet still running. High cholesterol is a manufacturing defect. It's the result of a logistics system that collapsed because the factory is full of junk. Understanding this is liberating because it shows the solution isn't eating fewer eggs. It's stopping the flood of the wrong fuel that's blinding and fattening the liver. If fatty liver is the hardware problem, hepatic insulin resistance is the software glitch. In 15 years of medical practice, I've seen this is exactly where most treatments fail. People try to lower cholesterol without fixing the body's electrical signal. Insulin is a hormone that tells your body what to do with energy. In the liver, it plays a key role. It should be the stop signal for sugar and fat production. But when you bombard your system with bread, pasta, tapioca, juices, and sweets all day, the insulin receptors in your liver start going deaf. It's like yelling at someone for so long that they just tune you out. This creates a phenomenon in science called selective insulin resistance, and that's where the real danger lives. Your liver stops listening to insulin when it comes to controlling sugar, so it keeps dumping glucose into the blood. And here's the huge problem, it keeps listening to insulin when it comes to making fat and cholesterol. It's the worst of both worlds. The liver senses all that circulating insulin and interprets it as a direct order to crank the production machines to maximum. Even if you don't eat a drop of fat, your liver is working overtime converting blood sugar into cholesterol and triglycerides. This dysregulation turns your liver into an out-of-control VLDL producing machine. As we already discussed, VLDL is the great-grandfather of bad LDL. When insulin is high in the liver, it activates the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. Know what statins do? They try to block exactly that enzyme. But notice the logic. High insulin is a finger constantly pressing that enzyme button. As long as you have elevated insulin from a diet high in refined carbs and lack of movement, your liver is under biological orders to flood your blood with cholesterol, no matter how many pills you take. Plus, insulin resistance changes the quality of the cholesterol your liver delivers. Instead of producing large, fluffy LDL particles that float around harmlessly, an insulin-resistant liver produces small, dense LDL particles. Those are the dangerous ones. They slip easily into artery walls and oxidize quickly. That's why so many skinny fat people have terrible cholesterol profiles. They look fine on the outside, but inside the liver is suffering from this hormonal short circuit. In my 15 years of medicine, I've learned that to truly lower cholesterol, we have to clean the ears of the liver so it can hear insulin again. When we restore that sensitivity, the stop production signal gets heard. The liver stops exporting unnecessary fat, and LDL returns to a safe size. Your high cholesterol is actually a cry for help from a liver confused by cross signals. Fixing insulin resistance is restoring peace to the factory control panel. To unclog your liver and truly drop your cholesterol, you need to understand how the body gets rid of trash. The drain for cholesterol in your body is called bile. Bile is a fluid produced by the liver that does two things: helps you digest the fats you eat, and most importantly, acts as a garbage truck for excess cholesterol. When your liver wants to get rid of leftover cholesterol, it converts it into bile salts and dumps it into the intestine to be eliminated in stool. The problem is that in a fatty, inflamed liver, this bile becomes thick and stagnant, like a drain clogged with old grease. The first step in our cleansing protocol is strategic fasting. Your liver only starts burning stored fat when insulin levels drop. As long as you're snacking all day, the store signal stays on. When you create a 14 or 16-hour eating window, you give your liver a chance to stop processing incoming food and start cleaning up what's left behind. That's when the organ activates autophagy, a cellular deep clean where it consumes the fat droplets blinding its LDL antennas. It's the first step to getting the factory director to see street inventory again. The second step is using bitter greens. You know that bitter taste in arugula, watercress, artichoke, or dandelion. That's pure medicine for your liver. Those bitter compounds stimulate production of thinner, more efficient bile. It's like pouring powerful detergent down the drain to dissolve accumulated grease. When bile flow increases, the liver can ship out excess cholesterol to the intestine much more easily. In 15 years of practice, I've seen that adding a plate of bitter greens before lunch does more for many patients' cholesterol than cutting red meat. But here's a secret few people know. The body is so economical that it tries to reabsorb 95% bile at the end of the intestine to save energy. If bile returns to the liver, the cholesterol comes back with it. To stop the trash from returning to the factory, we need soluble fiber. Psyllium, oats, flaxseed, and fiber from vegetables act like a net that traps bile and cholesterol in the gut and forces them out in stool. When the liver notices the bile didn't return, it goes on alert. I need more bile. And where does it get raw material to make new bile? From the leftover LDL in your blood. It's a mechanical, natural way to force your liver to clean your arteries. Finally, don't overlook the power of lemon water on an empty stomach. Lemon helps stimulate the liver's detox enzymes, and hydration is essential to keep bile fluid. Remember, an unclogged liver is a liver that can once again feel cholesterol and stop overproducing it. The focus isn't fighting the number on the lab report. It's keeping the drain open and the factory clean. When you adjust eating windows and use foods that promote cleansing, your metabolism starts running like a Swiss watch. Often the liver is so worn out from years of sugar overload and inflammation that it needs an extra push. That's where the elite nutrients I call premium additives come in. The first, and perhaps most important for anyone with fatty liver, is choline. Remember when I said a lot of people's problem is cutting out eggs? Well, egg yolks are the richest source of choline there is. Choline acts like the liver's moving truck. Without it, the liver simply can't ship fat out of its cells. It's essential for packaging cholesterol and fat for transport in the blood. If you're low on choline, fat gets trapped, the liver clogs, and cholesterol rises. Supplementing choline, or better yet, strategically reintroducing eggs, is one of the fastest ways to empty a fatty liver. Another heavyweight ally is silymarin. This is an extract from a plant that acts like a true shield for liver cells. In my 15 years of practice, I've seen silymarin stabilize liver cell membranes, preventing toxins from entering and causing more damage. It also stimulates new protein production, helping the organ regenerate. It's like doing preventive maintenance on factory parts, so they can handle daily production without breaking down. But if there's a true master cleaner for the liver, it's glutathione. And the best way to boost glutathione is through NAC and acetylcysteine. Processing cholesterol and burning fat generates a lot of chemical trash, free radicals. If the liver doesn't have an efficient cleanup system, that trash burns internal machinery. NAC ensures your liver has glutathione, reserves to neutralize oxidative stress. It's the janitor that keeps the factory from catching fire, while it works hard to clean your blood. Lastly, we have alpha-lipoic acid. It's a powerful antioxidant that helps the liver become more insulin sensitive and burn sugar more efficiently. It works deep inside the cell furnaces, the mitochondria, ensuring energy gets used instead of stored as fat. Understand one thing. Supplements don't work miracles on their own if you keep clogging the factory with soda and soybean oil. But when you do the homework, fasting, fiber, bitter greens, and add these reinforcements, liver recovery and cholesterol drop happen at a speed that feels almost magical. Your liver wants to heal. These nutrients are just the tools you hand the master to finish the job. We've reached the end of this lesson, and the takeaway I want you to carry into your daily life is simple. Stop fearing food and start caring for your factory. In 15 years of medicine, I've learned that high cholesterol isn't a flaw in your body or bad genetic luck. It's just your liver trying to survive in an environment of cross signals and excess junk. Starting today, you're no longer a hostage to a number on paper. You now know that to lower cholesterol, you need to reduce liver inflammation, open the bile drain, and restore insulin communication. When you take care of management, the inventory adjusts itself. Your body is an incredible healing machine. It just needs you to stop interfering and give it the right tools. I'm Dr. Harrison Blake, and my mission is to give you the freedom to live without fear. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep this information to yourself. Share it with that friend who's still cutting eggs out of fear. Drop a like, subscribe, and comment below. My factory is clean. See you at the next level of health. Until the next video.